Why, hello. Good evening, everyone. I hope that you are all having a fabulous, amazing evening. I know that I am. It is Thursday night, and I thought it would be fun if we did a late night pop-up tonight. Yes. Something a little bit different. I felt like we could use some comedy in the atmosphere. So, tonight, we're looking at a Reddit post that's been making the rounds. You see, there's a rabbi that is claiming that the earth is a square. The post links to a website and a video explaining the idea. So we're going to watch the video, talk about who this teacher is, look at the website, break down what the Torah actually says, and then check out the Reddit comments, because, sometimes that's the best part. We're keeping this respectful, curious, and a little bit funny because sometimes the internet hands you something so unexpected that you just have to sit down and say, all right, let's see what this is. So without further ado, let's just get right into it.
Karma's a bitch. Queen of Karma.
Why, hello there, Nev. I'm so glad that you could make it. I hope you're having a wonderful, amazing evening. So, Square Earth Rabbi versus CC from New York when? Yes, I would love to see it. I really would. Before we get serious, I need to share some very important scientific facts about Square Earth theory. These are extremely legitimate and absolutely not invented by me like half an hour ago, I promise. Okay, so let's get into Square Earth theory. Hello, Jeffs. Good to see you. So, if the Earth is a square, airplanes must legally perform a 90-degree turn at each corner. Gravity would have to pick a favorite corner. I mean, how would that work? GPS instructions would be like, in 200 meters, turn left at the edge of the planet. That would be fun. The Bermuda Triangle becomes the Bermuda Right Angle. Cartographers finally get a break because the map actually matches the shape for once. I mean, flat earthers especially would argue much better than the globe Earth does. So, now that we have grounded ourselves in this obviously very real science that I swear I didn't just make up just now, let's move on. So before we watch this amazing video, let's talk about who this rabbi actually is. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that have never seen this guy before. I hadn't, so I had to look into it quickly. So, his name is Alon, Rabbi Alon Anava. Okay. Hi, Sam. Good to see you. Yes, allegedly Square Earth. Okay. So, Rabbi Alon Anava is an Israeli-born teacher who grew up secular, moved to New York in the late 90s, and claims his life changed after a near-death experience in 2001. He says he died, encountered divine beings, saw cosmic visions, and came back with spiritual knowledge after that. He became religious, studied in yeshiva, and eventually became a Shabbat Hasid. He now runs Adzmut, I think I'm saying it right. I'm probably going to butcher a bunch of words in this, and for that I am very sorry, okay? We're just trying to have a fun time here. Don't get all virtue signally on me. But he teaches Torah mixed with mystical experiences, end-time interpretations, and, as we're about to see, fringe cosmology. At work, woohoo! That's right, because you live on the opposite side of the earth. Hey, Nev, would you be on the bottom of this as well? You know, would you be on the bottom of the square earth there? I'm just wondering. So, he is not controversial because of scandals or crimes. Thankfully. Let's keep it a bit lighter today, okay? His controversies come from his teachings, right? And we talk a lot about that kind of thing over here on my channel. Talk a lot about cults too. Subscribe if you haven't yet. So he uses his near-death experience as spiritual authority, which, I mean, lots of people have had near-death experiences. Come on, man, you know? What is it about New York that makes people become alternative Earth believers? Is it the same chemicals in the water that makes the frogs gay? Gay frogs! Down, 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 down. You know, I used to have that on here. I don't think I do anymore, though. But probably. You're upside down. That's why you're top heavy. I like it. He seems like the life of the party. That's right. So he teaches apocalyptic interpretations of modern politics. He promotes non-scientific cosmology like the square earth stuff, and he blends Torah with mystical claims and prophetic messaging. His interpretations fall outside mainstream Jewish tradition. So when he says he follows the Torah, not NASA, he means he interprets ancient text literally, even when mainstream Judaism does not. Right? So that is more what makes him controversial. So now that we know who he is, I think it is time that we just watch this video. This video that everyone keeps passing around, you know? Because it's quite fascinating. Turning the friggin' frogs gay! That's right. I don't like them putting chemicals in the water, because it turns the friggin' frogs gay! I could do the whole song. I listen to it way too much, more than I want to admit. Anyway, alright, so this is him here, explaining his square earth to us.
The master of the universe creates the world a square, and he puts boundaries and definitions for everything. Nothing in this world is not defined. So Hashem creates a square world. The world is square. The Kadosh Baruch Hu created the world square. And that's why we say in Kriyat Shema, Me'arba kanfot ha'aretz. Kanaf is a end, is the end of a square. Why would we say Kabtzenu me'arba kanfot?
He's like the end of a square. Which end? Which end? All right, I just posted the Reddit link. It's crazy long. I don't know if it worked. I'll put it in the description.
Gather us from all four corners of the world. So the world has four corners. If the world has four corners, how can it be a ball?
Oh, he's got us there, guys. He's got us there. If the world has four corners, how could it be a ball? I mean, it has nothing to do with north, south, east, west. Nothing like that. All right, he's got us. He's got us. This is a fun comment. Me and Dina have your docs. The whole internet does, sweetheart. Congratulations. You know how to use Google. Reporting your channel. Leave Harold alone. What about Harold? I have nothing to do with Harold. Like, I did one live stream with the guy like fucking years ago. Get some help. We're not even talking about anything to do with anything today. Or ever, by the way.
I'm just asking.
He's just asking. He's got us, and he's just asking. I'm like, I feel like you're not asking. You're in a position of authority as a rabbi, and you're kind of preaching this to us. Like, this is true. You're not asking a question.
Because I go by the Torah, not by the NASA. I don't follow what NASA says. I follow what the Torah says. So I read Pshat, Arba Kanfot Haaretz, 4 corners to the world. That's it.
Yeah,
why
would it say that? Why would it say 4 corners of the world if there weren't 4 corners of the world? All right. I did get taught about drugs by a giraffe called Harold. Well, I've also been sober since 2013, so I wouldn't know anything about that either. But yeah, no, he's got us there. All right, it's really short. I kind of want to watch it again without talking so much this time, just for context's sake. I think it's important, since it's so short, that I shut the fuck up and just play the video so we can all hear the entire thing that was posted. And then we will talk about what is actually believed here and take a little look at the comments and who this guy is, because he has a website, as you can see here. Let's go.
The master of the universe creates the world a square, and he puts boundaries and definitions for everything. Nothing in this world is not defined. So Hashem creates a square world. The world is square. The Kadosh Baruch Hu created the world square. And that's why we say in Kriyat Shema, Me'arba kanfot haaretz. Kanaf is a end, is the end of a square. Why would we say Kabtzenu me'arba kanfot haaretz? Gather us from all 4 corners of the world. So the world has 4 corners. If the world has 4 corners, how can it be a ball? I'm just asking. Because I go by the Torah, not by the NASA. I don't follow what NASA says. I follow what the Torah says. So I read Pshat, Arba Kanfot Haaretz, 4 corners to the world. That's it.
That's it. He's got us. Oh no. He figured us out. He figured out the conspiracy. We're going to have to let NASA know that he figured it out, guys. The flat earthers are going to lose it. Rick says, I follow Ash, and if he says the earth is square, I'll believe it. I normally just see Imans claiming the earth is flat, right? Square earth is kind of a new one. That's why I thought this would be fun. I've been wanting to do another flat earth one for a while. We did a little bit on my birthday, but earth is a done deal. Right? So now that you've seen the video and you know that, yes, he says this, and it's something that he really does actually believe in, let's actually talk about what the Torah actually says. Since he says he doesn't listen to it, he listens to NASA. So, the Torah does not describe the earth as a square. There is no verse in the Torah that claims the earth is square, rectangular, or cornered. Classical Jewish texts overwhelmingly describe the earth as round. Jewish sources outside the Torah, including the Talmud, Midrash, and medieval commentators, explicitly describe the earth as spherical. Isaiah 40:22 describes God sitting above the circle of the earth. So, I could argue that that's scripture, The Jerusalem Talmud states the world is shaped like a sphere, not a square. Tosafot says the world is round like a ball. Like a ball. That's pretty, I don't know how much more round you can get than that. The Zohar describes the inhabited world as a globe. And Maimonides writes that the earth is round. So they used to say that way back in the day, people thought the earth was flat even. And then through doing a lot more research, they realized that no, actually, it's always been described as round. So Take that, alternative Earth people. I don't know what to call them when they're not flat earthers. Ancient Jewish cosmology uses metaphor. Terms like pillars, foundations, and corners are symbolic, not scientific. You know, him and his whole like four corners of the world shit. Modern Judaism accepts the scientific model. Across Orthodox, Conservative, and Reform Judaism, the earth is understood to be spherical. All right? Like that. Not the square image I got AI to make for me up in the top corner. Moses must have lost the flat earth tablet. The Rabbi's square earth claim is not supported by Torah, Talmud, or mainstream Jewish tradition. It is his personal interpretation of symbolic verses. Okay? It's just his own personal belief that he is now trying to preach to other people and say, you must believe this too. I'm a rabbi. Listen to me. And I thought it was kind of silly. You know what I mean? It was just a little bit silly. So I think that right now we should take a look at his website, since you guys saw it being linked on his video. So adsmut.org, this is it here, partnering to secure a better future. Join us in the fight against poverty, both physical and spiritual poverty. In a time before Mosaic is coming, the world is in a state of emergency, requiring us to intervene and change the fate of thousands of people. So you can send a donation, become a volunteer, get involved, causes that need your urgent assistance. They have our new Sefer Torah campaign, the food bank. They're giving out meals, I guess, and CD distribution. So there's that. They say that they are working to provide thousands of people with their physical and spiritual needs. 315 projects worldwide. Here's their last year annual report. At least they do, give that information. That's all good. We build strength, stability, belief, and self-reliance. People through shelter. Shop here to help others. So they got some merch. Buy the merch today. And it doesn't seem to be like a grifty scam. I mean, they do appear to be donating. I checked out these links earlier. I don't think that there is anything really all that nefarious. Based on first look, the guy just has some silly beliefs, but if he is helping out at the food bank and that kind of thing, like, I kind of dig that. I respect that. I have nothing to say about that other than good for him. I don't want to be here just like, oh, this guy's religious and therefore he sucks. That's not what we're doing here today. But I wanted to show you the website. I'll leave you the link if you want to check it out. Hold on, let me go to the home first. If you want to check it out, if you want to support it, I'm not on here right now telling you about a scam that you can't support. So if you are Jewish especially, and you would like to support this, there is the link, check it out. Here is his personal page on the website. I can also leave you the link to that. Those links aren't as long, so it's a little easier. But there we have it. And as you can see, it's a special prayer for the 16th of Tammuz. And here he is. On the 16th day of Tammuz, Boaz and Ruth got married. The next day, Boaz died. Oh, that's awful. The holy rabbis explain that since that night, the dynasty of King David started. It is a very powerful night to prayer, to find your other half and get married. Also, this night is powerful to all shalom bayit issues, problems in your home, and even to hasten the redemption. He tells you what to do here. I guess he's also going to be going to the grave of Rabbi Yonatan ben Uzziel to pray, and then you can submit prayers. So, I mean, if you believe in that kind of thing, then go ahead and do that.
Shalom, everyone. I hope you are doing amazing wherever you are. I have some powerful information I want to share with you. As I mentioned in the previous video, that in 2 days is the fast of the 17th of Tammuz, Yud Zayin B'Tammuz. As we know, as the Mishnah teaches us, 5 different bad things occurred on that day. But what the Mishnah doesn't tell us, that another thing happened on that day. The Khatam Sofer is actually the one who reveals that to us. And the Khatam Sofer explains to us that on the 16th day of Tammuz, Boaz and Ruth got married. But that marriage didn't last for long. And unfortunately, Boaz died the next day. Which then means that the Yahrzeit of Boaz is on Yud Zayin B'Tammuz. But another thing that is more powerful is that the wedding of Boaz and Ruth, that eventually led to the birth of King David, the beginning of the dynasty of the kingship of David,
I guess they think that's good.
Started on the night of the 16th of Tammuz. Therefore, that night is a very powerful night. Now, I want to keep this video very short.
Good.
Tomorrow, Bezrat Hashem, I'm going to give a very long lecture.
Same.
About what's going on right now in the world, current events, the fast of Yud Zayin B'Tammuz, many amazing topics. And I'm going to explain everything that I just said in details and with all the information that you need to know. Right now, what I want you to do is to take the consideration that tomorrow night is a very special night for prayers, specifically for people who are waiting to get married, people who are looking to get married, looking for their other half. And unfortunately, there are many, but also for people who are married and finding marriage a little bit difficult with a lot of combined issues, which that includes also the educating of the kids to go to the path of Torah, and also many other things. All the information I'm going to give in the long lecture tomorrow. But right now, I want you to prepare that tomorrow night is a very auspicious time for prayers. So we have prepared a page on atzmut.org, I believe / 16 of Tammuz. The link will be underneath the video. You don't have to memorize what I just said. Go to that page, get the information, and get prepared for tomorrow. There's a short prayer to say, a few elims to say, and a prayer. Tomorrow, last minute, no preparation. I'm just going to go after my Torah classes. I'm going to head up to Amuka, to the grave of Rabbi Yonatan ben Uzziel. I'll explain everything in the video. Lately, the place was wasn't able to get there because of the war, but now we can get there. So I'm going to be going there to say to recite these special prayers. So you can use the same page if you want to submit names for prayers. You know the drill. Go to the page. You can submit names for the prayers, and I'm going to be praying on your behalf in the grave of Rabbi Yonatan ben Uzziel.
That's kind of nice.
Go to the page right now. Get familiar with what needs to be done, and Be'ezrat Hashem, I will give another video tomorrow explaining about it, but please, just that you know, get ready. And stay tuned. Tomorrow will come another video, the long lecture, and another video explaining what needs to be done. And Be'ezrat Hashem, as our sages promised to us, based on prophecy, that when the time of Mashiach will come, Hashem will take the 4 fasts, the 4th, the 5th, the 7th, and the 9th, and turn them into simcha and sason, to a happiness and to a joyous.
I wouldn't be able to do a fast.
Joyous occasion, and may Hashem, before we even need to fast on Yud Zayin B'Tammuz in 2 days, Hashem should bring the Geulah, Hashem should bring Mashiach, and we don't need to suffer anymore. And it depends on us. We need to all do tshuva and get strong in the Torah, learn Torah, give a lot of charity, help a lot of people. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we still have the zchut and the option to turn everything around and bring Mashiach right away. So join us on everything that I do. Please follow all the videos, share it with everyone, and stay tuned for the rest of the videos.
It was very YouTube-y, right? Right? Wasn't it very YouTube-y? Let's go and see what pops up. So he has 107,000 subscribers. And I mean, I was looking through and I was just kind of like, yeah, he's just got a kind of wacky beliefs, which of course can get dangerous. But as of right now, I don't have enough information, I should say. I just found out about this guy like an hour and a half ago. And I just thought this was funny. But I don't have enough information about like his background or anything to really say, yeah, he's problematic or a grifter or scamming or anything like that. That is not what I am saying here. But according to his YouTube channel, he has a lot of some crazy beliefs going on. Like reptilian stuff. And that can be worrisome when you have a religious leader that's like telling people that people are reptilians and the earth is square, you know. So then I was like, all right, I've seen the video, I've checked out the website, I've looked at his YouTube channel and been a little bit like, okay, yeah, there's some wacky beliefs. Let's go see what the comment section had to say. Because Reddit is wild, and they won't hold back. Joe said prayers for incels, and I almost died earlier, by the way. A silver play button, that's right. I don't hate this guy. Yeah, sure, he's wacky, but I can't be mad at someone that preaches prayers and charity. It's a yellow flag, not a red flag so far. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I think it's funny to laugh at some of his wacky beliefs, but I don't see anything as of yet that says that he's harmful or anything like that. Like, I'm not going to be going and doing a big article about him saying he's running a cult, for example. All right, that's not what we're doing here. We just thought it was funny because he said the earth was square and that it said that in the ancient texts and whatnot. So, the comment section. Someone says all religion is institutionalized ignorance, which I get it. A lot of people do believe that. You know, a lot of people do believe that. This guy is just a loon. Pretty much all of the foundational texts in Judaism all have converged on the notion that the earth is round. This guy doesn't seem to be ordained to be a rabbi, and his points are highly uncommon. Interesting. No doubt, but his beliefs are no more crazy than socially acceptable religious beliefs. For example, the idea that the whole of the universe was created specifically for humans by one dude in a week, despite the universe being within a rounding error of being 100% deadly to humans. There's also the talking animals and divine zombies and global floods with optional TARDIS boat. The problem is that people so intent on the preferred beliefs being true that they lose the ability to adjust those beliefs around newer, better information, forgetting that the whole point of religion is supposed to be the pursuit of truth, not bigoted adherence to dogma from a time where people didn't even know space existed. Beliefs, after all, are just things we think, but if we turn them into an identity, the way religion demands, we sacrifice the ability to change our minds. And that not only prevents learning, it stagnates our morals. And what this leads to is a scenario where everything good that a person can get from religion is also available from secular sources, but much of what is bad or harmful about religion is unique to religion, and religion-dependent or religion-adjacent belief systems, like Flat Earth. Well, we got 3 comments down before they brought up Flat Earth. This person says, doesn't the universe being within a rounding error of being deadly to us support the idea that there could be some kind of intelligent creator? Just one logical interpretation of the fine-tuning problem in physics, implicitly assuming there is only one universe. Of course, it doesn't prove anything because of the implicit assumption. Another interpretation being that there is a very large ensemble of universes, and most are duds, governed by randomness and no intelligence. I don't know. I don't really want to argue any of that. But anyway, this person says that's not what Jews believe either. Jews believe that God is not some dude sitting outside of the world that made the earth, but rather we exist within him, and every single atom and every single soul are in a process of continuously being created. Basically, and everything in the universe is one, and the universe is the concept of God itself. There wasn't a literal 7 days in which this all occurred either. Instead, it represents seven stages in which the uniformity of the universe can be separated into distinct concepts, labels, separations. In a sense, applying a division upon something or making a distinction is an act of creation. This corresponds to 7 Sephirot, with Shabbat being the final piece called Malchut, or kingship, where divine presence is realized. The stories of Noah also has many different interpretations and meanings way beyond the literal. But sure, you can be uninformed and mock religions that you don't fully comprehend nor take the time to learn anything about. And I could mock you for being a neckbeard atheist that is so dogmatic to their atheism, it blinds them in hatred to anything labeled religion. I mean, some of that is true to an extent. Do those atheists exist? Definitely, definitely. That's an interesting interpretation of the belief system, though. I like it. He should read the Torah then. It might disabuse him of that line of thinking. Funny how all the flat earthers, besides being stupid, all have religion in common. Do they all, though? Every single one? We need to find some atheist flat earthers, just because I've just find that hard to believe. What are the other options, though? You're either religious or atheist, or I don't, there aren't many options. So I don't know. I looked this guy up, and I think calling him a rabbi is a stretch. He does not appear to be ordained by any organized Jewish sect. Now, if that's true, then he's a false prophet, in which case that makes things extra worrisome. Just saying. What he's talking about here is not taught in mainstream Judaism. Even Jewish religious extremists do not preach that the earth is flat or square. This person says he's a nut job. Looks like old Sammy Bin. Oh, stop. We don't need that. That's a bit much. Okay, that's a bit much. NASA has been around since the late 1950s. People have known the earth is round for 3,000 years. Very fair. And that's why I kind of laugh when they're like, oh, well, it's all NASA's conspiracy, right? I'm like, they haven't been around long enough to trick the whole human race, forever. Not all, but most are religious. See, I feel like, though, that there has to be some out there that, maybe they believe, but, religion isn't part of how they identify themselves. They aren't, outwardly religious. They don't go around talking about the religion all the time. They're not, extremists or anything like that. You can't say that all flat earthers are religious. I feel like that's not really fair to do. Is there a little bit of a connection and is there an overlap? For sure. And do many of them quote the Bible verses as well? This rabbi was quoting their texts. Yeah, it's similar in that way, of course. But you could say that about every belief system, by the way. So I don't think it says anything about Christians or people that are religious. You know what I mean? I feel like a little bit of that's going on. It is a little bit bigoted in this comment section, I'm just saying. But I'm more looking for information about this guy, right? And it's interesting to find out that people have looked him up and he might not be ordained. Now, does that matter? I don't know enough about the Jewish religion. Would it matter if he was ordained here as long as he is doing good work? If his website is actually donating to the food bank and giving people meals and helping the poor and whatnot, does he need to be ordained? Is it I mean, is it dishonest to say that you're a rabbi when you're not? Yeah, one could argue that, I guess. Is it something that we should be canceling this man over, though? You know what I'm saying? That's what we have to gauge. I don't think he deserves that, especially if he actually is helping and doing, like doing prayers and charity for people. That's honest work. That has to balance something out. I'm not really sure if that should fall under the same category as, the other religious people that I be covering over here on my channel, right? Like some of these people in Hare Krishna or like the Love is One cult people, like he's not in that category. I don't feel like. That's for sure. I don't think that's fair. But he has some wacky belief systems. Maybe he's more like, I don't know, a Dr. Rob. That will make more sense in a few weeks. So, he's so close. The Earth is a cube. It's well known and covered up for almost a century. It was pooped out by a giant space wombat. Religion has held humanity back in so many things. Humanity may be over 100,000 years old, but we are still in the childhood of our species, needing a daddy god so things aren't so scary. Hopefully we will make it through adolescence without wiping ourselves out. Hopefully we don't wipe ourselves out. If you were going to have your appendix out, would you let this guy do it? No. Why? Because he is not qualified. Okay, that's fair. But do you have to be qualified to pray for people and then to give to the poor? What are the qualifications necessary for that? This is what I'm trying to say, though. We have to kind of like weigh what he's doing wrong. This isn't a black and white situation to me. It never is. But this one especially, I feel like, Rabbi is in no way represents anything close to mainstream Judaism of any denomination. He started his YouTube lecture after what he claims was a near-death experience. But it's all the end of the world is nigh. The New World Order controls everything. A hodgepodge of QAnon-inspired assertions. See, I'm more worried about his QAnon stuff than I am about his religious affiliations right now. And most of his audience are fringe, evangelical fundamentalist Christians and fringe fundamentalist Muslims. Now, I mean, being one of those in itself isn't bad. It just depends on what are we doing with those belief systems, He mixes dubious interpretations of the Torah with misquotes from the Talmud and Midrash together with Book of Revelation's messianic, apocalyptic predictions for most of his shtick. But because he's ethnically Jewish, cosplays as Hasidim and calls himself Rabbi, his Gentile audience buys his crap. Anava even throws in the occasional passing reference to the idea that the global elite are lizards from outer space disguised as human beings. Yes, we definitely saw that. And sometimes even quotes from the protocols of the elders of Zion. So that might be problematic. Okay, this guy is a kook. We're trying to research him live right now, really. The godfather of Flat Earth, Eric Dubé, is a non-believer. Oh, there you go. Well, there you go then. I was like, there's no way that every single flat earther is a Christian. That just seemed a bit much for my brain. I was like, I can't believe that. I'm sure there's some like atheists that also fall for the, because to me, the conspiracy has an overlap with religion, but it's not always because of religion. Like some people believe in it because they don't like the government and they want to believe they're lying to them. You know what I mean? Some people just believe in it because it's something different to believe in. Some people are just really into conspiracy theories. Like there's different reasons why people believe things. And I think you have to really sit down and think about that. And why does this person believe it, Especially when you're looking at a whole community, you have to consider that there are different people with different belief systems. But this belief system that this rabbi has, as we're finding out, they seem to be something completely different than anything that any Jewish person would ever believe in. And that's probably not good. I'm just saying. Oh, someone says, what is his obsession with wanting the earth to be different shapes? I wonder if he said that they were flat in the past, you know? Everyone lives in their own reality. Where are the corners? He hears 4 corners of the world, and the fool thinks it's a square. It's clearly a tetrahedron. Now we're just getting silly, okay? The phrase the 4 corners of the globe prove it's both round and square. Got us. I'll go to the ends of the earth. That means there's ends to the earth. That's right. That's right. He found it out. You know? This person says, the Old Testament and the Bible itself says the world is round in many different ways. As far as from the east is from the west means infinite. Yep. Which poses the question, how did you travel to the spherical world from your flat square one? This person says, look, man, let's ignore the flat earth claims. And I'm like, sir, we're not doing flat earth today. It's square earth, thank you. Time cube. I don't know. I'm not clicking that link. I'm scared. Oh, man. It's kind of funny. I'm not Jewish, but it's this kind of logic exactly. If ancient texts are to be believed, just take them literally. Also, I think he's right. NASA is a government agency. They spin fantasies for their pleasure and your imagination, and they got voted down. Good. You know? Anyway, I think we've proven that that's not anything that he should be believing or spreading around, especially if he's a rabbi. And if he is someone that is into QAnon as a belief system, that is extremely worrisome. So I don't know. Let me know if you want me to look more into that. I'm more worried about that now than I am about him saying that the earth is square or being Jewish. Because him being Jewish or a rabbi has nothing to do with it, right? I was just saying if he's not ordained, we have to decide, is that something that matters? I am not Jewish. So I feel like I can't really speak on that. So if you are Jewish, let me know. Because I know in the Catholic Church that I grew up in, that would be a problem. If you weren't actually a priest and then you were acting like a priest even online, people would be pissed. I feel like I would understand completely. So if you would like me to look into this person further, maybe do a deep dive on them, let me know. After I'm done everything on my desk, maybe I can get into it. But that is all I have for you guys tonight. I just kind of wanted to have some fun tonight. Just have a little laugh. I thought it was really, really funny. Let's just watch that video one more time, just for fun, just to close us out, just because hearing him say it is hilarious to me.
The master of the universe creates the world a square, and he puts boundaries and definitions for everything. Nothing in this world is not defined. So Hashem creates a square world. The world is square. The Kadosh Baruch Hu created the world square. And that's why we say in Kriyat Shema, Me'arba kanfot ha'aretz. Kanaf is a end, is the end of a square. Why would we say Kabtzenu me'arba kanfot ha'aretz?
Maybe it's the end of the line. Who said it was the end of the square?
Gather us from all 4 corners of the world. So the world has 4 corners. If the world has 4 corners, how can it be a ball? I'm just asking. Because I go by the Torah, not by the NASA. I don't follow what NASA says. I follow what the Torah says. So I read Pshat. Arba kanfot haaretz, 4 corners to the world. That's it.
4 corners of the world. That's it. Alrighty. That's it. I hope that all of you have a fabulous, amazing rest of your evening. There should be a Friday with the Sayers of Nay tomorrow evening. It will probably be around 7 p.m. Eastern. because, Chris will yell at me if I do it while he's at work. No, I'm just joking. No, he won't. But I'm going to wait for everyone to get home from work, and I might have to cook dinner tomorrow. So it will be after that, but I hope that you all have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me for this late pop-up. And don't worry if you missed it and you're watching this on replay. It's okay. Nobody knew I was doing this. That's why it was a pop-up. And so I love all your faces, and I will see you all tomorrow for Friday. Please be safe out here on these YouTube streets. As you see, people are wildin'. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Joe says, good night, everyone. And so do I. Bye!